All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming in August. It made it a little easier when it started raining, so you weren't missing any great afternoon, weather-wise anyway. If we can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Great to see everybody. Hope everyone's had a good summer. We were off in July, and don't have a lot of comments. Simply, I'm sure we'll hear how things went at the event on Sunday, and other things we're going to add in. So let's just move on to the minutes. Can I have approval, or if there's any questions on the minutes from June 24th?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay. And second, but Jen, any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, great. Adjustments to the agenda. We do have an adjustment at the end after, I guess after 12, right? We do 12.5 or something. 12.5 is going to be executive session regarding the teacher contract. And then we'll come out of that and most likely have a vote. So that's that'll be 12.5. Otherwise, I think everything's pretty straight, right? Okay, and let's move forward. Public session, everybody, staff, unless Dean really wants to say something as a resident of Woolwich. All right, superintendent's report.
Yeah, I put a few things at your table tonight that just gives you an idea of the support staff positions, that, who's filling what, and then just, some internal movement that we've had, just as an FYI for you. Right now, as of today, we have 2 ed tech positions at Bath Middle School open. We have an ed tech at Morse High School open, and applied academics teacher is in the process of interviewing, and then they have an ed tech opening, and then Woolwich has 1 ed tech opening. So those are still, posted. We're still attempting to fill those positions. So that's what we have open at this point right now.
Okay.
Dennis is here tonight, so I won't steal his thunder. He is up later, but the schools look great, and we were able to accomplish a lot of needed projects this summer, but I'll let him deal with that. Set for success, I think we had 63 students that got a free haircut on Sunday, and I'd like to thank Jill Sawyer, but also I think all the staff were from Hair Creations, but I may be wrong. But anybody that came here, I think we had 6 to 8 stylists here, and then we had 664 students that came through the line to receive school supplies on Sunday. So a special thank you. Jamie, do you want to add something? But thank you to Jamie, her crew, and all the volunteers that helped on Sunday. And
I think the only thing I'll add is thank you to the RSU1 custodial staff who was here every second of that event and really took a lot of the physical work off of me. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Just a few other things. New staff orientation tomorrow, and then we have everybody back on Wednesday and Thursday, and then we have students K to 9 that start next Tuesday, and then everyone, K to 12 on Wednesday. And you read in the paper about transportation and busing around the state. We are fortunate to have our fleet ready to go, as well as drivers. We do have one situation where we're down 1 driver for a short period of time in Woolwich. So, they've been working diligently to combine a run, but it's going to be for a short period of time. It should be for maybe the month of September that we'll have, but all the other runs should be like normal. And I'd like to thank First Student for all their efforts this summer. And I think that's it.
Great. Any questions for Patrick? Awesome. Deb, financial report.
So tonight, hello everybody. Tonight we're looking at, there's 2 financial reports, one for the month of June And that is an unaudited, but it's pretty close to. Hank will be coming in actually next week to start on finishing that. Sorry. But it's interesting because I went back and looked at the balance of our expenditures and our revenues compared to last year, and we're ending with about 1.3% in expenditures, and it was exactly that same amount last year. And for revenues, we're up like 1.7% over what we had budgeted, and last year it was 1.3 for revenue. So we're up about 183,000 in revenues, and then we have that balance in expenses. And it's good because that will enable us to continue using that $1 million for a beginning balance as we move into next year's budget. So that keeps it afloat. So, and then the start of the new year is our July report, and that, once again, is just starting the process. We've spent 4.7%, and last year it was 5%, so following that same pattern. And for the revenues, we're at 8.9%. So this is just the beginning, and then upcoming analysis will be, budget versus actual for when we're finished hiring, and tuition numbers when those come in. So here we go.
Great. Any questions? Yeah, Jen.
Hello, Deb. When we start, is there some point in the year when we can start to putting enrollment down here again in terms
Yeah.
of that was, but again, I'm sure that waits for that all to.
Yeah, probably September, somewhere around, October 1st is the big numbers, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll put that back on there.
Okay. And anything of a balance left over from ARP or COVID funding?
There may be a little bit, but what you see here for a balance is basically going to finish up paying for the summer salaries and the amphitheater. And there was, I think that was it for outdoor projects, but I still have to draw down money for July and August, and then we'll really know where we ended up.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions? Thanks, Deb. Appreciate it. Okay, old business, the board goals for evaluating.
Yeah, I just put this on the agenda because I think I put in your backup for goal 3, the pre-K to 5. We're going to have Beth Kaiser and Katie and maybe a staff person come in September to really kind of go through that goal. And, in the last couple of years, it seemed to work well, but it's up to the board. Where we've revisited these usually around November, December, like halfway through a year. And just, maybe there's a goal or two that we want to keep on there. But then there's maybe 1 or 2 that we want to remove and put a couple new goals on. So I don't know if that makes sense to you. I just thought we'd bring it up and maybe see if there was a consensus. That's all.
Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I'm sorry, my mic was, I was not really, I don't know if this is a goal or not, but I would really love to get into all the schools with our school board meetings, just to kind of really feel like we're getting out to the schools instead of someone always coming here. So Phippsburg, Woolwich, but even, it's easier for other teachers to come back and forth here in Bath. But I don't know, just a sense, I don't know if that was a burden or not for the schools when we did it, but I always felt like we could see people face to face, and even towns, people could make it easier. So I don't know if that's necessarily a goal or just, and that's only if everyone else thinks.
I think it was mostly because the technology hooks up well here. Was that one of the reasons?
That was our thought right from the get-go. But
If other people think it's important, I don't want
the
to.
board would like to explore that, we can certainly talk with tech crew and see if it's possible, so we would make sure, it's not like we would, the majority of the meetings would still be here.
Right. Well, it's just, and I think it's if, like what you're saying, if there's a reason to, if there's doing some special project or something throughout that would make sense for us to be there and they'd like us to be, that's, we can make it work tech-wise. That makes sense. But yeah, this is, ever since this was built, it's easy to do. So yeah, so we can continue to explore that and see where that goes. Any other questions on what the, board goals or things you'd like us to think about? But I think, your approach makes a lot of sense. Let's see how things develop in the fall, and we usually do it midway through when we re-elect people in January. Yeah, so that sounds good. Any other things on that? No? All right, let's get to 9.0, new business, summer facilities work. Dennis, come on up.
Hi, everyone. Hope you had a great summer.
Yep.
So
Heard yours was busy.
I was busy. It's always busy, but I did get some time off.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Woolwich Woolwich Central School. Just kind of a recap. We got the AC up and running in the spring, and I gotta tell you, it's beautiful. It works great. I did some work in there this summer, and it was really. I'll go to Woolwich, because the schools are, it was nice and cool, and it's really, really. Teachers have been saying that the kids have a better time paying attention, and that's great. And then another thing we did is they had a forum on the third floor. It's a glass wall classroom. We took that glass wall down, and we actually built a wall and added some outlets in there so that it gives them more flexibility to plug things in, and tried to be. We had a door that fit. It was kind of nice. It was a good project. If you get a chance, take a look. And then we replaced the cyclone on the wood chip boiler. We have a lot of trouble with that wood chip boiler last year because the cyclone was getting clogged up. The cyclone's part of the exhaust system for the chimney. And so we had that done. That's a successful project. I'm kind of anxious to see how that's going to go this winter. But yeah. Fisher Mitchell, we built a room inside the teacher's room for ELL, I believe. So it's a nice little room. We kept as much of the teacher's room as we could for the teachers, of course, but we have a nice little room in there. So that gives them a little extra space. And the steam chase, we called it an abatement, but it wasn't really an abatement. It was more of a cleaning of it up and making it safe for the school. It's wet in there, and we have a process that we took the shelves out, we blocked it all off, and we finished that up this summer, early in the summer. So that was a really successful thing. And then parking lot drainage, gave you guys all this list. If you got any questions, feel free at the end. But the parking lot drainage, the parking lot was set up so that the water would run across the parking lot and run into the people that live on that side street after the school. It was filling up their basements with water. So, well, I'm over exaggerating, but we fixed that. We added a curb, and we did a color spreader with some crushed stone, and it really hasn't rained enough to know, but I mean, maybe tonight we'll know something, but it seems to be working well. And then on my list in the budget process, the kitchen door was replaced. So that's a good deal. At BMS, Bath Middle School, the grease trap was replaced in the kitchen. That was a big project. That was really tough. It's a big unit. It's bigger than that thing, and that was successful, but we made a mess in there. Wow. I told the nutrition director, I said, make sure these ladies come back early so that they can clean. We clean it the best we can, but they want it a certain way. And they said that to me today. Oh, thank you for giving us the heads up. I hated to make that mess, but I didn't make the mess, but I mean, I hated to be the one that had to do it. And then we ended up changing a couple of classroom carpets at BMS because they were just terrible. I mean, it was just rips and gouges and blacks. It was pretty nasty. We ended up changing it. We had a lot of leftover carpet. We used it. We actually did a lot of that ourselves. Not that one, but I'm going to get to that. The next one is PES Phippsburg. We replaced the carpets in room 7 and 13. Again, that was a successful project. And it was a little classroom that was split up near the nurse's office, and it didn't really make any sense. It was just a tiny room, and there was a wall in the middle of it. And we took that wall down. They asked us to take the wall down. Me and another guy took it down. We tore it up, and we put the carpet in ourselves. We did it all ourselves, and it was great. It was fun. Yeah, my wife says sometimes your idea of fun is a little whacked out, but it was fun. It was rewarding, We fixed the cafeteria floor at Dyke Newell. That was a bad deal. It was slippery, and then it was not slippery. It was concrete. We fixed that all up, and that's good to go. They'll be able to have gym in there without getting tripped up. And then at Morris High School here, in the 600 wing hallway, we had a student that was in a wheelchair, and there was a hump there was a lip in the threshold. We noticed it, and we took it out, and the kid was real happy about that. He was able to actually do it without getting a running start. And we did a couple other things there to help that out. Then we installed the power on one of the poles out here in the parking lot for a camera that Patrick's been wanting me to get going on that. It took a while because it was a kind of a big project. It's hard to find your way back into the school from a pole near the bridge, but the electricians managed to do it. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but we numbered the classroom windows. Have you seen the numbers on take a look on the way out and the doors? They have the nice big numbers on there for safety. And every classroom has a number on it. It's a classroom number, and it's in a sequence where if there was an emergency and you wanted to, monitor that classroom, you could do it from a pretty good distance and see the number pretty clearly. So, and I did that in conjunction with the school resource officer and the safety committee. They have a certain way you have to do that. And then we finally got all our vehicles up and inspected and in good shape. We purchased a couple minivans that we use every day. They're great. They're cheap on gas, and we can put our tools undercover, and it's kind of nice. And we still have trucks that if we have to bring something big. So and I think 1,290 work orders that we completed since last June. So. We keep pretty busy, but it's looking good.
That's great. It sounds amazing. Thank you for all your hard work and for your team.
I have a great team.
Do you anybody have any questions on any of the projects?
Okay.
Go ahead, Jen.
I don't know who this would be best directed to. And it's kind of facilities, or I'm just thinking about school starting, and all the horrible accidents we've had on Route 1 in Woolwich. I was this car behind a car that almost got demolished by two semis that blew through a red light at the traffic light. And so when I saw that, I reported it, and I talked to someone at DOE. It's not a Woolwich road, it's a state road. But my request has gone out to DOE, to the select board at Woolwich. It's to make the red light be red lights all around for 5 seconds. Just to try to stop all the traffic for just the count of 5. So I don't know if you agree with that or anything, if we could just be a good, strong voice to the Department of Transportation or whomever has to make that decision. I think the light there is going to change at some point. I also asked for blinking lights in both directions on Route 1, amber colored, that would say there's a traffic stop coming up, not just the standard ones that don't have any lighting. But I've heard from parents people will honk at them or yell at them if they don't immediately start out on the green light, and they're pausing for a moment just to make sure the traffic starts. Yeah. And it's going to be worse because the northbound Route 1 is going to have that turning lane. So you're not going to necessarily be able to see that second lane of traffic. So if anybody has the opportunity or can think of something that just might make that intersection a little safer, especially with the start of school starting, I was thinking just making everyone stop for 5 seconds before they proceed. This guy in front of me was lucky. He didn't pull right out. But it would have been a catastrophic event. And people fly through that light all the time.
I don't think I have a lot of pull with the DOT, but I can, certainly throw my 2 cents in. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, just
So-
if even if the Woolwich Select people hear more and more requests for that, or just if the state gets more than just one voice for the many voices, and
Yeah.
they may come up with a solution. I don't know what happens if you make all that traffic stop for an extra 5 seconds, if that has a horrible, reaction to rush hour traffic up and down Route 1. I don't know those formulas that they use for those things, but and I don't even know if first, our bus system could also ask for something. Any ideas, just help, because that road is just so dangerous these days.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, it's been a crazy summer for that. Thanks for that. Any other questions for Dennis? Great projects. Thank you for all your
Yeah.
hard work. Really appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, 10.0 copier and printer. That's lease, right? Lease approval.
So you have that in your packet. Would you like Dean just to kind of give you a quick
Sure.
synopsis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just-
And then,
So we've just reached the end of the current lease agreement for copiers. We spin these out every 5 years. And because of the dollar amount involved, we have to have a vote by the board to approve and encumber those funds. So basically, it's the same. Actually, the winning vendor was the same vendor that we've been using for 5 years. We did have 5 RFP responses. And basically, they just had the best package overall, and we were pleased with them. When we asked secretaries, because they deal with the copier people most commonly, overwhelmingly, everybody was pleased with the service we've received. So that's in a nutshell. We're updating the fleet. All of the devices are being replaced, both printers and copiers. Everything is included in our price. It's a price per page, price per printed page contract. We also use something called Follow Me Printing, which basically means that we don't have any confidential materials sitting in the hopper waiting. And basically, when you send something to print, you can go to any copier in the district, walk up to it, and you can either badge in, log in, or use a PIN. And when you do that, then your print jobs will start to come out. So it is, yeah.
Have we had any problem getting toner? Or been
There was a
hearing-
period during COVID when pretty much everybody in the industry was having difficulty getting toner. But after that cleared up through the supply chain issues, we haven't had any issues recently.
Okay, thanks.
So, yeah.
Obviously.
so
yeah, go ahead.
whoever's going to make the motion, you don't have to read this whole thing. It's just that one first line, whoever's comfortable making the motion.
I move that the vote entitled Vote to Authorize Lease Purchase of Toshiba Copiers and Printers in the principal amount of $199,000 be adopted in form presented to this meeting.
Great, thank you. May I have a second? Kurt? Great. Any other discussion regarding this? Any questions for Dean? No? Okay, then all in favor? All right, passes. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it. Let's see, so now we have the building applications approval, and those were all emailed to us.
Yeah, we didn't want to waste a lot of paper, so we emailed them to you. But, we've said this before, this just means that we're applying, but there is a piece on the cover sheet that says, you need to have a board vote. So we're applying for Bath Middle School, we're applying for Dyke Newell, Fisher Mitchell, and Phippsburg, and based on, the age of the buildings. So we worked with our architect their firm that, worked on Morse to help us, write those and get those prepared. And so what will happen is that if you approve those, then the DOE this fall will have a small team come down and they'll do an assessment of each building. And then I think if we're lucky that it would be next spring, maybe summer, when a list will be produced by the Department of Education of, I don't know how many are, get their applications in by August 30th, but, and then they're gonna have to rank order those. So, obviously our goal is to, to have Dyke Newell and Fisher Mitchell in that top tier. And I don't know that Phippsburg and BMS, where they would land on a list. But, it's worth trying and worth, in our opinion, and worth the effort to see where we are in that list. It doesn't hurt, doesn't, so you have them. I don't know if you had any questions about those applications. I believe, Deb, I don't know if I think it is the first time that we've done BMS or Phippsburg. And, Dyke Newell and Fisher Mitchell were on there before. Dyke Newell was 50 last time, and Fisher Mitchell was 20 or 22 last time. So, which was 2017, I think, 2018.
And we wouldn't be competing against ourselves to have those other two in there against Dyke Newell and Fisher Mitchell.
No, I mean, schools do it all the time, and obviously, the DOE has favored consolidation if you have schools that are in there. So some school districts have combined 3 or 4 of their schools once they just get, one approved and have that conversation. So no, it's not a competition. I think it's more for us to have a baseline of where, where those other 2 schools might fall in the mix of who applies.
A local photographer took a picture of Dyke Newell as it is right now, which kind of created a little bit of a stir on social media. But I think there's a lot of misinformation, and I wondered if there was a way that we could communicate to parents where we are in the process and what it is that RSU1 is working to do, because I know that you've been working tirelessly on this, and I think people are thinking that we aren't doing anything because of what the building looks like right now. So just.
Our plan is to, put something out in our district newsletter, but we put something in there last year talking about, the advocacy that we did with Eloise and with other representatives and trying to to be approved for emergency project. And as you know, that didn't go through. We weren't supported by the state. So this is our next effort to get this hopefully done, a new school. Yes. Yeah.
Questions on the applications, Jennifer?
Yeah, on the topic of consolidation, question 6 on the Phippsburg application says, is the SAU considering consolidation either within your SAU or with other SAUs? And I thought the response would just be no, but it was, we do not see consolidation with other SAUs. Is there a reason why you just didn't say no to that completely?
I'd have to go back and look at that one, but no, it should just be no. I mean, that's what we answered on the other ones.
Yeah.
It does, yeah, it was
yeah. It was different, and then I was
Yeah.
like, does that mean that we're gonna?
No, we'll fix that. Thank you.
Any other questions on the applications? All right, then may I have a motion to approve all of them? I don't think there's a specific way to phrase it. Is
It's
there?
more just to, a motion to support submitting those to the Department of Education.
Okay,
I move to approve the DOE building applications submission to DOE.
great. May I have a second? Megan seconds. Any other questions or concerns? All right, all in favor? And that's approved. Thank you. And now it's beginning of the school year, so we got all these fun contracts. Lincoln Medical Partners contract.
So that's in your packet as well. I
Mhm.
don't know if you have questions, or Katie, if you want to mention anything unique about it.
No, it's the same plan that we've had the last few years for our school-based health center. Just to remind the board, the portion we contribute is $12,000, which supports having our medical assistant in our nurse's office at the high school for a certain number of hours per week, in addition to what she works for Lincoln Health. So we have consistency all the days of the week, rather than just the days and times the provider is there. So kids can make appointments and sign up for the health center whenever they're around and able to. And so students can come from other schools as well.
Great.
Yeah. There might be for the next budget season. I spoke with the person who we work with for this contract, a little bit of an increase in that amount, just because we obviously need to every year increase that person's hourly rate. And so it would be, $1,000 or $2,000 5,000 max. But that's really the only change. Otherwise, it's full steam ahead. And if anything, we're just hoping to get more hours of the services we already have, which is great.
That's great. Any other questions regarding this contract? Go ahead. You got them, you got them. That's fine.
Katie, I think we talked last year about trying to make the resource available to people that were way down peninsula, other schools, and that transportation, even though there was transportation available, maybe there wasn't enough. Can you remind me, was there an ability to book a limited amount of
No,
appointments to get, or-
it's open to anybody in all of our schools,
Okay.
and we're able to use our vans to pick up anyone.
Okay.
And we do have all of our nurses in contact with Tasha, who's the person we have there every day.
Okay.
If they have a student who, for instance, for immunizations, isn't caught up and the family can't get them to an appointment, we set up a way for them to get to our health center.
Okay.
Yep, so that hasn't been a roadblock at all.
Okay, great. And then there was another piece about who's employed by whom. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it said that there were certain people employed by the RSU, and that was all the nursing staff. And I would just want to confirm, that's just our typical school-based nurses, right, that are employed?
Correct.
Okay.
So Katrina Barter is our nurse who, it's because her office is in the school-based health center.
Uh-huh.
Everyone who comes and works for the health center, other than Katrina, who we have hired full-time, works for Lincoln Health,
Yes.
except for the medical assistant I just mentioned, who's half with them and half with us, so we can have her every day.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions? From anybody? No? All right, so can I have a motion for approving the Lincoln medical contract?
I move to approve the Lincoln Medical Partners contract.
Great. I have a second. Second by Anita. Okay. Any other discussion? No? All right, all in favor? All right, and that is passed too. And now we move on to 12.5, going into executive session. And Jamie?
I'd like to make a motion to enter executive session for the labor contract negotiations 1 MRSA 4056D.
Great. May I have a second? Megan seconds it. All in favor? Okay, we're moving into executive session, then we'll come back out come out of executive session.
Thank you, Ready?
So moved.
Second, okay, all in favor? Okay, we are out of executive session, and if you can read the motion.
I make a motion to approve the 2024-2027 contract agreement between the RSU1 Board of Directors and the Saginaw Educational Association pursuant to the terms discussed in executive session.
Great. Second?
A second.
Okay. All in favor? All right, the contract unanimously passes, and so then we leave it to them to do the next step. All right. Next meeting date is Monday, the 23rd of September. Let's not rush through it yet. Okay, and if there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you all.
Thank you.